Welcome everybody to another awesome coding day in Nuremberg, Germany. Today I want to talk about objects, and I mean objects from a compiler perspective. So let's have a short look. We talked about types like integer, struct, pointer, function. Those all are types. And the compiler has to keep track of the name of the variable. The machine codes will not care. They don't know variable names. But our compiler has to keep track of it. And also, each type has a size associated with it, and structs are even user-defined, and we have some alignment requirements, and there are so-called type qualifiers like const, volatile. We talk about them later. We have this signedness problem. It's signed or unsigned. Pointers point to some area in memory, and we just interpret it as some sort of type. And all those things the compiler has to keep track of, because there's a document called the C standard, and it defines how we have to write down our mental model. And this is important because when we write down our mental model, at some point it has to be compiled. That means it has to be translated into actual machine instructions. And in order to make this happen, the compiler has to keep track of a lot of data in order to obey all the rules of the C standard. So with the language C, we write down a certain mental model, and then this model is translated into machine instructions, and the machine instructions have to behave exactly how we defined it in the mental model. So this is, we will learn that this is actually not so easy. And therefore, the C standard defines a lot of things which might sound overcomplicated, like undefined behavior, and other terms which at a first glance might look magical, overcomplicated, irritating, and most people, I think, tend to ignore it. And we shouldn't do this. We will shortly understand, or in future, we will understand how this actually works. We will dive into the machine codes, because we learned a lot of new things now in the last videos, and we will look what happens actually on the machine. And then you will understand some depth of the C language and of actual machine instructions that will make those things much easier to digest. And it comes out very natural and very logical. So this video, just a short video to introduce the concept of objects from a C compiler's perspective. And those are not the objects I talked about in the last videos, where we defined C classes in plain C and derived objects from that. That's not what I mean here. I mean, really, the compiler has to translate an integer into actual machine instructions, and therefore it has to keep track of a lot of data. And that's why those complex data structures, we can think of them as objects. Okay, so far so good. Stay awesome. See you soon.